Hey guys, welcome back to Pinehaven Acres. So today we are moving our pigs. We're rotating their pasture to this spot right behind me. And I want to show you guys how we do that. We have electric fencing with a solar powered box. But this is probably going to be the last time that we move them before they go to the butcher. So I just wanted to document it for me to look back on in the next couple of years and show you guys what we do. So the first step that we do is we mow where our new fence line is going to go, which I already did. You can kind of see here at this corner we have tall grass and then short grass, and that way the grass won't touch our electric fencing once we put it up. So I've mowed down here and then where the corner is, and to measure out the space I just walk on this short side here. I just walk that, see how wide it is, and then I make a rough estimate for when I mow over here behind me this way. And if we need to adjust and mow another strip, that's totally fine, we do that. So that's been already done. And then I put out these stakes. I have enough stakes to make roughly 2 pens. Sometimes I need some extra stakes from the old pen. So I'll stake it out, and then I'll show you what I'm about to do right now. I take one of the 2 electric ribbons off of this pen, turn off the electric first, and then I take one of them off, put them on the new pen, and I keep this electric for the pigs so they stay in there. And then it gets a little chaotic when we're moving the pigs over, but we'll get to that. So I'm going to take the first layer off. I take the top one off first and turn it into the bottom layer on the second pen, this new pen. And then we'll go from there. This is the solar electric box. So I'm going to turn it off first, and then we can take off the ribbon here. So there's a lot of tie parts on this ribbon. It's not like all one big piece. So I find a loose knot, I take it apart, and then I wrap this around my arm while someone walks in front of me and unhooks it from our stakes here. These stakes have these little notches that the ribbon goes in. So that's how I take this down. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but I just have it separated so that it's a line instead of a circle, and then wrap it around my arm. Got my ribbon here. My dad's helping me. He's gonna turn the fence back on. So now the pigs stay in. We've been putting the ribbon on the 2nd and 4th hooks on these posts, but they're kind of big now. The pigs are big. So we upped some of them to 3 while we put up this fencing, just so they can't jump over it. They have a lot of energy, and they are more than capable of jumping over the fence if it's on the 2nd hook. So we're gonna get started hooking this one up, and then we'll come back for this other ribbon. I've started it down here by tying it, not a super tight knot, but I tied it to the first post, and then we're gonna use that to keep our tension and move on to the next post. Then I hold on to this, and my dad hooks it on to our fence. And you'll notice that we turn our fence posts for the corners, so the hooks face out at the corners, and then we reinforce it with a T-post and some rope, just to keep the corners from bending in from the tension. Okay, we got 3 walls done. This is our new pasture, and this right here is our old pasture. So we just tied it off right here. We are going to use the old pasture wall right here as the new wall, so that it's all enclosed. The new pasture is all enclosed. We need to flip those stakes around, but we're going to leave it up for now to get the pigs over and make it look like their whole new pasture is fenced in, even though we need to do some adjusting still. And we're not gonna turn on the electric until we have both layers to fence lines up. So we're gonna try to get them across. Last time we had a little bit of trouble because they moved farther than we normally move them, and one took off running to go explore, so that was fun. But what we normally do is lure them with their food. They love their food. They are mostly foraging, eating the grass, the roots, all that kind of stuff, but I do supplement with a grain mix, like a corn mash from our local mill, to make sure that they have all the vitamins and minerals and protein that they need. But they're only getting a small amount, like enough to feed a piglet, and these pigs are, I think, going on 8 months. So they're looking really good though. So what we've done now is coming over here. We've moved their food bins into the new pasture, and we're going to lift up this fence behind me and lure them through. Some pigs won't fall for that. They know that electric is painful, so they won't even want to go underneath or over it, which is good, but we're gonna see how these guys do. So far they've been pretty good in the past. Turn this off again. Whoa! Come on, pigs! There we go. That was easy.
Is there any in here? Yeah, there's about to be. Oh, got some in there too.
So I've trained them to come when that whistle is called, and that makes loading them up into the butcher trailer so much easier because they're expecting food. So every time that I feed them, I whistle like that, and they associate that sound to getting fed. And it's really not that much effort to do, but it trains them and they come when they're called. Now that they are in their new pasture, we need to make this old fence line into the new fence line. So we are going to turn all of these stakes around and then hook up our line that we dropped in that back corner, so that one whole line's up, and then we'll take down this side and put it up over here. These fence posts are super nice, and I got them at Menards for about $1.99 each. You just step on the bottom and it goes in, and then you have all of these options for height for your line. So I pretty much bought a whole box of that, and I think I have around 60 something, so I'm able to make 2 pens. We're about 3 feet short of connecting to our corner, so we're mowing one more pass this way, and then we're gonna mow a little bit here because we gotta move that wall in a little bit to give us some more slack. So we're gonna move this line about a foot in. That should give us enough slack so that we can tie them up in the corner here. Okay, we got one layer of ribbon all the way around the pen. Next step is to hook up our electric. So we move this T-post, put it here. We got our solar box on it, and then we're gonna put in these 2 6-foot grounding rods, and that allows the system to work smoothly, brings electricity from the box to the ribbon, to the ground, through whoever touched it, and then back up these grounding rods back to the box. That's how you get shocked. The grounding rods are connected with this wire here, just a galvanized wire. So you got 2 of those. Then they come up to this box here, and when we flip on the switch, it comes down here and connects to our ribbon.
Should we test it?
Do you want to?
Sure. Yep.
Yep.
It's working.
The pigs are now secured in their new pasture. The electric is on, so if they test the fence in this new space, they will definitely get shocked. So now we can take our time. That is the main rush of it, is just getting this first layer up and putting the electric back on so that they stay in there. So now we just need to take down the rest of this fencing and put up the second layer on this fencing. Dad's gonna finish putting up the second layer of ribbon, and I'm going to clean out their water tank. It is pretty nasty. Every time that we move them, I clean it out. I mean, the water inside looks clean, but there's like algae growing on the sides of that. So I'm gonna dump it out quick and wash it. That looks so much better. I'm gonna do a quick scrub on the outside, and then we'll get it back in the pen and fill it up. So then one of the last steps is to put in T-posts, over here, for all of the corners, and then we just use paracord to attach it. And that just helps strengthen up these corners, because without it they tend to get pulled in because of the tension of all of this electric line. So that's been done. Got our water filling up there. And the last step is going to be to turn on the electric. And that is how we move our pigs. I forgot to mention we moved their shelter in over there. So they have that to get out of the weather, and then they also have the trees for shade. And this is our food bin here. That's what their food looks like. So we just have that next to their pen here. I also wanted to show you guys the differences in some of our field back here. So you can see all of this stuff we have not mowed in a year. and it's very weedy. There's not a whole lot of grass growing or, you know, small plants. It's all this stuff, which I've looked up at one time, and I know that it can be toxic to horses if they eat a lot of it, and probably cattle too. But we have a lot of that going on over here. And then we've got some other stuff. This is goldenrod, that's fine, but it's just not a lot of grass. This looks good. I'll show you another part of our field. I just recently mowed back here, but what it looked like before I mowed it down was this, and that's all of that purple flower. It's just died, and this was pretty much covering our entire field. Normally we mow and we keep up with the mowing. We mow it very short, which I think personally we should be mowing it a little bit higher and getting a different tractor or mower or something, because this is as high as we can go on our lawnmowers, but I think it cuts it back too short. So all these weeds end up growing. This year we didn't mow a whole lot back here, so this is what our entire field looked like before I mowed it. And I had to mow one row like 3 times to get all this gone. But it's really not great. The weeds have definitely taken over our field. So we need to either stay on top of mowing or get some animals out here, because with these pigs, it's been really interesting to see. They'll come into a spot like I just showed you with all those weeds, and they'll eat them down, and then they'll kind of till up the ground, which we don't like them tilling up the ground like they are. It's really destructive. But I'm thinking if we got a different type of animal out here that wouldn't root up the soil but would still eat everything down, we'd eliminate a lot of the weed issues, and we'd also fertilize, because our soil back here, I haven't tested it, but I'm assuming it's lacking in a lot of stuff just based off of what's growing out here. So this is what they just came off of, and they've been on here for a little too long. I should have moved them earlier, but we were on vacation and stuff. So this is what it looks like right away as soon as they get off of it. And this field that we just, or this pasture spot that we just moved them onto, they've been on once before, about a month and a half ago, I want to say. And look at that, hardly any weeds. The grass is super thick. It's probably 90% grass, and it looks really, really good. And then this spot over here is where we moved them off last. So everything's still growing back. And they were not on here quite as long as the section we took them off today. But you can see this is all grass and plantain and some other small plants, clovers and stuff. We've got some weeds that are dead now, so they won't come back until next year. And we've got some goldenrod back there. So this field looks like it's coming back pretty well. The only downside now is that we have a bunch of holes. So we're gonna have to come out and smooth it down with our neighbor's tractor, because we do not have any of that type of equipment. So what I'm seeing so far is that having animals on the pasture or field at this point to make it a pasture is really beneficial, but these pigs are pretty destructive to the ground. So yeah, we either need to get something else to heal the ground or use like a weed and feed type thing, which I would not prefer to do. So we'll see. But thought I'd share that with you guys, show you the difference, and kind of what that looks like. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.